This is working. Yep, we're good. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Mills, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very fine. I suppose you want to see it again?
If you don't mind.
You know where it is?
Oh, yeah.
You know, if I charged you $1 for every time you came in to examine the machine, you'd probably own it. You know, it's the one all the pros use. Mariah Carey, Beyonce, Gwen Stefani.
Really? Who's Beyonce? Just kidding. I'll take it. Worthless balls.
This is Filmsack. Oh, sure.
Hello, and welcome to Filmsack. This is Filmsack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind. This is episode 667. I'm Scott Johnson. Joining me today. I don't know why I'm pausing like this. I don't know why I'm doing that. Anyway, joining me today, hey, it's Brian. He wanted to give her a horse, but all he had was this stupid karaoke machine done away.
Ah, Beyonce uses it. Who? Pause like Johnson. Oh, hi. This week on Filmsack, we ignore everything our daddy said and share a everything so damn expensive ride from the airport with a very doable HBO Max. Hey, I'd hit that. All the way to our posh Paris adult-free apartment for a very specific set of 2008 action thriller that promises to taken us away to construction site bedsheet brothels, exotic rich guy dungeons, and boat rides with a fat guy. Oh, so chic. Man, I love Paris in the summer and these drugs. I can't stop them. Also, don't do sex drugs. Anywho, thank you for attending my rich girl birthday party. You can heap your presents and adoration over there on that table by the ice sculpture where I will leap over them shortly with my new rich girl horse while karaokeing to my hit single Skills That Kills that I dedicated to my daddy after he hooked me up with a pop star from a vocal lesson. And holy shit, can you believe how amazing my life is? I even went for $500,000 at a human trafficking party. Hot damn. Randy? Peter good at picking up girls. Peter no good at looking both ways before crossing the street.
Yeah, Peter, no good.
Peter got squashed.
Yeah.
Squash like grape.
Yeah, squash like Peter. All right, well done. Also with us today, we have Randy. He has a very specific set of very specific skills of specificity, specifically speaking, Jordan.
Aloha, Scott. Brian, let's get down to business. You've all had your daughters kidnapped, and I'm here to help you get them back. You can't have rape revenge if you don't do some revenging. So, revenging, it takes a lot of effort. I hope you're well rested, and even if you are, we've provided you each with 24 5-hour energies. That's 120 hours of energy, and don't forget, you can drink them 2 at a time and pack 10 hours of energy into the next 5 hours.
Goodness.
Are we all here?
We're all here.
We're here now.
Okay. All right. Just follow my 3 rules.
I got taken.
All you have to do is follow my 3 rules for being successful in your rape, revenge, adventure, journey, fight, infiltration, extraction, murder spree. 3 rules. Number 1, I need you to be a practitioner of shadow magic, okay? Take the time to go into the place where your daughter was kidnapped and magically vision quest up the details of what went on there. You should spend a lot of time doing this, even though you already heard it over the phone. Come on. Number 2, I need you to be a practitioner of conjuring magic, okay? Does the situation call for you to suddenly be a phlebotomist? No problem. You can magically conjure a tap needle, the correct tubing, and a bag of sterile saline. Number 3, kill. Everyone, literally everyone, it's between you and your daughter. You kill them. That's just how this works. And the more 5-hour energies you drink, the more people you're going to be able to kill. This training brought to you by Living Essentials LLC, the makers of 5-hour energy. Try our new flavor, Pineapple Splash. 5-hour energy helps you kill people.
Oh my Lord. Sign me up for your bag of chips there. That's amazing. All right, with us finally, we have Brian. He never trusts the Albanian Zibit.
Never, especially the ones named
Those
Marco.
guys.
Which one of you is Marco? All right, this one I got a special guest joining me for this one. You'll know her immediately. She is one of the hosts of the fantastic horror movie podcast called Gore. Her name is Monica, and see if you can pick her out in this song right now.
Wow, that's
I didn't hear
amazing.
Monica. Where was she at?
Yeah, that was just Brian
I
got.
just heard Ibit.
Yeah, she did all the main vocals. I was backup singer.
Wow.
For the whole thing. Yeah.
That was amazing. I feel bad for our YouTube watchers. You guys don't get to hear those. You got to go to the podcast to hear that stuff. Yeah, well, YouTube gets us. They ban us.
True.
They block our videos if we play it. That's how good these covers are, and boy, you're missing out. Anyway, hey, the movie is Taken. It is 2008's Taken, although some places say 2009. I don't know why, but it's weird. It's got like a weird mix.
It looks like it was released like in some theaters to make a 2008 like award season, but it actually came out in January 2009. Like was the wide release.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I was also 1,000% convinced this movie was rated R, and then I watched it, and I was still convinced it was rated R until the end, and then I went, oh, this was PG-13, and I guess there wasn't a ton of blood, and there was a lot of cutaways, but it's the most rated R PG-13 movie I've seen in a long while.
No.
Yeah, that was what my
deals with-
14-year-old said.
Yeah.
It deals with adult subjects.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, and there's a lot of killing. Like our Revenger, he gets 35 kills in this movie. You know, and it's like
That's a lot of kills. That's like
That is a lot of kills. Wow.
fair number.
He doesn't kill anybody until like an hour into the film. So it's that last half hour that is just
And it's a
less than-
short
less
movie.
than
and
one
it's
a minute.
tight.
Yeah, it would have been so short if he doesn't start the movie on a side quest, which is about the birthday and the
Karaoke.
whatever, like to let you know who all the people are. That's the movie starts with a sort of like current day backstory.
Yeah,
and then if he doesn't go to the scene of the kidnapping and lay under the bed, like this is a 10-minute movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's super short if you don't do
stretching.
that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Well, it's Taken. We have a fake Fletcher to help explain the plot of the film, and I can't explain this because you know how sometimes it gets really erratic.
Yeah,
this one was really.
I thought you were going to say really erotic, but okay, I'll go.
Very erotic. But this one went
Taken.
Check it out. But he plays this one really straight for a stupid AI robot. So I don't know how this worked, but here it is.
Taken. A retired CIA agent travels across Europe and relies on his old skills to save his estranged daughter, who has been kidnapped while on a trip to Paris. I will find you.
Okay, the last bit with a glitch.
Yeah,
I love that.
You, choo. Also, I take issue with the description. I don't think she's estranged. They seem very close. They seem fine. It's the wife.
Well,
Just,
it was a very short estrangement.
Yeah,
right.
It's Jean
Held
Grey.
at mom's arm's length.
Yeah,
It should
Jean
be called
Grey. Jean Grey's the estranged one. She's barely in this thing.
It
She's
should
like
be called a troped. It's like the trope of the perfect three. It's not. They're not a throuple, but it's like like when you got a couple and then the ex is the dad. It's like you've seen this. You've seen this in other movies.
Oh yeah, many times.
And this is like the perfect situation. She managed to marry a really really rich guy, and the really really
Not
rich
just
guy.
rich.
Yeah,
Like Illuminati rich.
filthy
Yeah.
rich.
Like what underground thing is he involved with? Are we going to find out, Rich?
Yeah,
Right, and we do find out, which is
Right,
this
Taken
other
too, right?
this other trope.
yeah.
We find out near the end of the movie, not near the end, no, before he goes on his main quest, we find out that he's been following new guy and knows everything he's up to.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, this trope is like he's an international criminal, but he's not actually done anything truly criminal. He's just like involved with a lot of shady people.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's because he's got business deals in Russia, and those Russian deals fall apart, and there's this whole thing like, well, there may be some connection there, but it turns out not really. That dude in France just scoped out the girls and said, all right, they look like good targets, let's get them. But man, that kind of human trafficking as a subplot or as a main plot even is so freaking that alone is R-rated for me because it's just so harsh. It's like, geez, these poor girls, and it happens, and ugh,
it's drugs and not just sex, but like unsolicited sex, and all this violence implied in scene.
Yeah.
And
and a completely missing policing force in all of Europe. Apparently, there's just no policing.
well,
in all
they're
of
all
Europe.
bought. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all
Right,
bought
right.
off, though, right?
Right, yeah, that's
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like
Like
that's
Gotham.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Very Gotham. That's a
There,
great,
there
a great
are
point.
and there are a lot of action superhero like tropes also built into this. They're sort of like the underlying structure of the movie is a Batman movie,
Yeah.
and of course we have Ra's al Ghul in the lead. So I'm like, hey, why don't you call your friend Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like, there's a very, I don't know. Well, this would have been right. What, 3 years after Dark Knight, or no, not Dark Knight. The other one, Batman Begins, which is where he featured.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, and to me, those are backwards. I feel like the Batman thing came way after all this Taken shit, and I have that so wrong in
All
my
this
head.
Taken shit.
You know what I mean? And okay,
Taken shit. I got you. I'm with you.
let me make this
Taken
clear. I
shit,
should
yes.
make this clear up front. We're all gonna have opinions, obviously, but I think Taken is kind of awesome. It holds
classic.
up. It's classic. It started a whole new phase of his career. He was convinced, according to the trivia, that this was going to bomb and bomb hard. He says when he read the script, he felt certain the film would be straight to DVD. Was just kind of paying the bills, and then it says, as it turns out, the movie became an unlikely blockbuster, revitalizing his career in the process. I mean, yeah, like Taken's a big deal.
I would like to know exactly how. Like, who was the audience for this going to a movie theater? You know what I mean? Was it?
Dads and daughters.
Because
Absolutely. Dads and daughters.
Take your daughter to the movies. Perfect movie.
I mean,
for
come
this.
on. I mean, what dad doesn't have that emotional feeling in there for their kids, right? So I mean, yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah,
I think there's something to that.
In.
I think there's something to that, but also I just think it is like Die Hard or anything else where you're just like, whoa, the action is unexpected, and Liam Neeson's getting older, and wow,
Man.
look at him and the fighting in the hallways and the whatnot. Like it's just good. It's great.
I get Liam Neeson up whenever, like, when somebody would ride close behind me when I had my kids when they were young. I mean, like, I would like I'm gonna find this effer and I'm gonna disassemble him.
Yeah,
is what's gonna happen. So I mean,
disassemble.
Yeah, Papa Bear, whatever the equivalent is. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all felt like some form of that, and I feel like in this particular case, it's just so visceral and so well done. Part of it rests on the performances.
Simple.
I think that they're all Maggie Grace is very good, and Liam Neeson is very good, and the combination of those two playing their parts so well really sells it. Like
and
he's
Famke Janssen is like, oh, you just hate her, but that's perfect. That's what you're supposed to do, and it's just, I mean,
that
love
gets
it.
stretched to a point though, where I'm like, ooh, this is starting to break apart.
Watch
The
Taken
mom
2.
being so credulous and so like completely laissez-faire about the daughter going on this trip in the first place. Like, it's just there's a point where I'm like, this movie's almost making everybody the bad guy, you know?
Yeah,
Which is good
right.
because that's the whole idea. Everybody's rich, everybody's out of touch except for Liam Neeson. He's the
they don't go super far. Like, they could go further with the Famke Janssen thing and show her at the party not really caring so much about the daughter. They show at the party that she really does care about her. I'm giving her some space with her friends and blah blah blah. And you know, if they would have made her seem more distant towards the daughter than the I don't care if she goes off to Paris with one friend, one 17-year-old friend.
right.
Well, all of it makes sense. It's not written in the story, but it is definitely motivation. I mean, this woman got out of a marriage that was neglected, right? And so and she obviously wants everything that she didn't have for her daughter, and so she gets married to this uber rich guy, and she's putting herself like going, oh, I wish I could have went to Paris. Yeah, absolutely, let my daughter go to Paris. You know, and the fact that Liam Neeson is so resistant, she's got to be if one person is the stick, the other person's got to be the carrot, be fun and everything. So it's not necessarily told in the story, but we all know the archetypes.
The only thing I didn't like about it was that I just felt like she was underused and she was barely in it. And I really like Famke Janssen, so I could have gone with more of her and her whole thing.
Xander Berkeley is the rich guy. I love Xander Berkeley. He's so much fun.
Scott, you could say that about everybody who isn't named Liam Neeson in this movie. Like,
right.
The movie really could have taken a breath and fleshed out Liam Neeson's special agent buddies,
Yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
or it could have
Or-
it could have fleshed out the we find out later is a corrupt cop in Paris guy.
Yeah.
He was very interesting. It could have gone a completely different way with that, by the way. I like spent the whole movie going, stop making the police only either corrupt or vanishing. Like give them a part in your story, and then it's so much more interesting than just making them the bad guys. Because the dude ends up shooting a policeman's wife.
Yeah.
Like, come on, this movie. It's like this movie is about Liam Neeson hurting people. That's what this movie is about.
This is about right, and this is about connecting to, in my opinion, it's about connecting to a father's emotion. It's not about making sense necessarily. It's all about that emotion, that protective need, and they kept it tight, and they stuck to the topic, and they worked it all the way through.
Yeah,
and
I think they nailed it.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, you got it. If that's the part, I think you're right. I think that part is key, and you have to nail that part, or else this is not a good movie. Like, you have to do that. But it also helps that the choreography is really good. They trained him in a bunch of hand-to-hand stuff, so it felt authentic.
Oh, so good.
It was that kind of Bourne Identity quick cut. Although I think Bourne Identity was the same year, so no, that was before that. The first one.
Interesting. Yeah.
But anyway,
he feels fast. They made Liam Neeson, who's a pretty big, gangly guy, right?
Yeah.
They made him feel super fast.
Yeah, he's my height, I think, 6'4", and he's just, when he stands up next to other actors, and sometimes in this movie it was obvious, you'd see him standing there and just go, my gosh, what a lurch he is. He is just so tall. Or everyone in Hollywood's just so short. That's what it is, But anyway, yeah, he really sells it for me. I really enjoyed this watch thing, and I've seen this, I don't know, 4 times, something like that. Okay. And now I want to go watch all the other Takens, and I have to wait because we're going to do them here, right?
Have you seen the others?
I haven't seen 2 or 3, no.
The other Takens?
No.
Oh, really? Interesting. I've seen all of them, and
they kind of maintain this.
I saw this one the one time. I saw it when it came out in theaters. I saw it one time,
right?
And I was like, okay, and I went on with my life. Yeah. I looked up what I was talking with my movie friends about at the time. And I want you to know some people that I know who are really good at this because they have seen hundreds more movies than I have.
Yeah.
Made a list at the time. I have a contemporary list here of all the things that led up to this. The question was among my movie friends, how did we get here? Right?
His professional life or his...
No. What does this movie exist as a result of? What does it draw on that came before it? Right? Because like the talk at the time was that it was very derivative. There was absolutely nothing new here. And so like they made a list of 10 movies and 1 TV show that led to this movie. And I just want to run it down for you really, really fast.
Go for it.
I'm going in chronological order, by the way.
Yeah.
So the movies are Get Carter, Death Wish, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Mad Max, Unforgiven, Leon the Professional, Payback, Gladiator, and that's very interesting to me. Kill Bill and Man on Fire. Man on Fire precedes this by about 4 years. And then the TV show is 24. I never even thought about 24 while I was watching this.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely very 24, especially the daughter
with what's his face in it.
Yeah, because he for the first full season he's trying to recover his daughter who somehow gets caught in a cougar trap or something, in one of the 1 hour segments. Yeah, like a little, or maybe I guess she's just cornered by a cougar or something. It was widely laughed at when that all happened.
Wildly.
Yeah.
Plus Xander Berkeley was right there from 24.
He was 24,
so, I mean,
right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy's in everything. Boss. I loved him as like the turncoat jerkface in Air Force One.
Everything.
Well, everything.
Yeah, everything he's played in, he's so fucking good at it.
But he's turncoat jerkface in everything he does.
Yeah, but the biggest problem with that is that in this one, he's not really a bad guy. He's just sort of innocuously rich. And because he's that loaded and has business dealings in some sketchy places, there's this connection. But it's not the same as his usual role. So I kept waiting for that shoe to drop, and it never did. which is fine.
Did
I don't need
did
it.
anyone else
Wait for Taken 2. Just
Yeah,
well, did anyone else think about Man on Fire while watching this?
a little bit.
No,
Yeah,
not until you just brought it up. But,
Which, I mean, well, they're all like they all have little bits to offer, right? It's not like this movie is just a rehash of any particular thing, but like Man on Fire, because of the end of Man on Fire, I found myself having this thought over and over while watching Taken. Like, is he gonna die? Is he gonna succeed? And then I'm like, no, there's a Taken 2. You know he's gonna succeed.
Yeah. And they didn't replace the actor, so he's there. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, he's fine.
Right.
Don't worry about him. Yeah, that's interesting because some of those names or some of those things you mentioned as derivative of, I think they're older than this though, or newer rather, is what I meant.
No,
obviously.
no, I only named things that precede this movie.
Rip through
And-
that list one more time. I just want to hear it one more time.
Okay, Get Carter,
Okay.
Death Wish,
Okay.
The Outlaw Josie Wales,
Okay.
The First Mad Max,
Yeah.
Unforgiven,
Okay.
Leon the Professional,
Yeah.
Payback, Gladiator, Kill Bill, and Man on Fire.
Oh, I was
Those-
thinking, you know what it hit? I was thinking Gladiator, but that's definitely earlier. You're right.
I mean,
Well,
there's
but
a Gladiator that's newer.
That's true.
Sure.
Hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
That's the one thing in that list that has made me scratch my head, and I had to remember. Oh, you know what? Gladiator is a straight up father's dad husband's revenge movie.
Oh,
Like,
100%. Yeah.
it's just that I think of it as this big Roman intrigue. You know, like I'm thinking about all the other people and not like the through line.
Well, it
of the-
definitely starts more Roman intrigue and then ends more vengeful. Like I'm going to finally get, revenge for the killing of my family or whatever. So but I could see all these things. The problem I have with that list or just this idea in general is I think these are just tropes that have existed forever. None of them are particularly in this movie. It's, the idea of I've got to save my daughter from this thing is as old as time. Like, what's more human than trying to take care of those who are dependent on you, right? Like that's just a natural.
What's the OG revenge story? Hamlet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
good
it's
one.
all the way back to Hamlet here.
Yeah, good point. It's a pretty much balls to the wall kind of story though. What's crazy is I found out that Jeff Bridges was originally cast. Like the casting was done. It wasn't just considered.
Interesting.
Wow.
He had to drop out for whatever reasons. And then Liam Neeson took it. He was
I could
second
see
choice.
that.
But I could totally see
it.
that.
It wouldn't be the same, but I could totally see it though.
It would have been a real bummer for Neeson because Neeson was. I mean, this is like it says in various places.
He made
this
a
had
career out of it.
Yeah, this is like a real revitalization. He's still riding that wave.
He really is. He's still doing things that are not called Taken, but are Taken like.
Taken like.
Also
Imagine-
Taken.
Imagine the line I do have are a very particular set of skills, man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like, just imagine that.
Come on, man.
New shit has come to light, man. She's, you got to get to this construction company and find her, man.
Yeah, man.
I'd love to see it.
Oh, I would. Yeah, I would too. You kind of can see it in his old man series on Hulu. Or FX, whatever it is.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
It's basically
my daughter.
that.
She really held my life together.
It's really brought the room together. Yeah, he's very good at that stuff. It turns out, but we wouldn't know that. And it does sound a little strange to hear that he was almost that, but I could see it. I could totally see it. And I love both these actors, so I'm down. Whatever.
And I love this taking place in Paris. And it was such a visual feast for me to have it. There was like one scene I was trying to remember. Is it Liam standing like when your background is the Arc de Triomphe is in the background just as scenery. It's just
French shit, man. They're just
French shit. I'm here. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
I like it.
The ending where he chases down a boat floating down the Seine and jumps off a bridge onto it was amazing. Like, especially if you watched the Olympics a few weeks ago. I was just like, at other times I was like, hey, let's go back to Paris, guys. Like, we're at some random quarry construction site that was probably filmed in California. Let's use the place we're supposed to actually be, please. But like overall, like the cinematographer for this movie was punching way above their weight class.
Oh yeah,
this movie had no business looking so good.
Yeah, it looked real good, and I don't know what I expected. I think I didn't expect that. I expected it to Just look
This
like
is,
you know
the
another
director,
like
Pierre
we
Morel?
it's like we filmed this in Vancouver, but we're telling you it's France. That's what I expected.
Yeah, yeah, Brian.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
our first
yeah.
Pierre Morel movie, our first
Yeah.
Michael Abramowitz movie. He was the cinematographer.
How do we know these
yeah.
guys? Do we know him from anything else we've done, or
I just said it's first for Pierre Morel for
Oh,
us.
oh,
and
oh,
For
got
us,
it.
though.
cinematographer.
But I mean, do we
Right,
know? But we still could know him for things like 0 Hour.
I don't
and,
think
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I
right,
13.
right.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh God, Peppermint. That was that. What's in your wallet? Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
As a vigilante who goes after the
Yes.
people who got her daughter, right?
I assume
Yes.
we're watching
Yeah.
that at some point,
Yeah.
right? We're gonna do that, whatever that
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Let's do it.
saying it's probably not great. It's probably okay.
It's not great. I saw it in theaters because a friend of ours really wanted to see it, and her husband didn't want to see it. So Tina and I said, "Yeah, we'll go see it with you." I'm like, "Oh God, this was so bad."
And one thing that
That's too bad. Yeah.
one thing that I must have forgotten was what Luc Besson is the writer on
Yeah.
this or co-writer on this thing.
Yeah.
That-
Crazy.
I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay.
100%. It feels like the
Yeah.
professional or
Professional, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or most of his stuff actually. Everything that wasn't Fifth Element, it feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can feel his writing all over this thing. The fact that it's got a bunch of other French people involved, including the director. It's in France. Like this may as well have been a Luc
Yeah.
Besson joint.
I guess I didn't realize that Besson's, like, even Fifth Element and Transporter, he worked with this Robert Mark Kamen through all of that.
Oh, interesting. I know
Who was
that.
the Karate Kid creator.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Robert Mark Kamen was co-wrote this with Luc Besson. Kamen created the Karate Kid franchise, and then they co-wrote Fifth Element, Transporter, and Taken franchises.
I'm going to
He
pretend.
now produces all
Yeah,
from his
yeah.
vineyards in Sonoma,
Right, right.
California.
Wow.
Sure.
And
Why wouldn't
that's-
you?
Yeah, why
right?
not? Why not
And
indeed?
those are all wild. All those stories are wild because if I read any of these scripts, I'd probably be like Liam Neeson was. It's like, it just doesn't sound like it's very exciting. But then when you put it on film, it's like, oh wow, this is really working. And so that's a real skill.
Yeah,
Right
I
there.
think you're right. It's a coming together of a bunch of things where nobody on paper is like looking at this like the big blockbuster it became. I think everybody was like, it's
Right.
serviceable action revenge thing and it'll be fine. But I think it's much better than that. And I see why it spawned 2 sequels. I don't know how those sequels were received. I didn't look.
I'll tell you the receipt when it first came out. When I first heard about Taken 2, I laughed. I'm like, really? Taken
it is-
again? Were they going to
I was
take her
gonna say,
again? Come on.
It falls under the whole Die Hard thing. Like, how many of the same bad
Yeah.
thing can happen to
Yeah.
one person in their life?
Yeah.
It's the family, really. I think the family is haunted because the Taken 2
Haunted.
is not what you may think,
Really.
right?
So Taken 2 is him getting taken, right? Is my understanding. It's revenge.
Does Famke Janssen get taken, or is that 3?
That's what I heard
I always get them
too.
confused. I always get them mixed up.
I've never seen
yeah.
2 either, but I think that is the deal. Is that
I just
Famke
wanna-
Janssen-
I wanna
and then all
point
3 of them
out-
get taken in 3 or something.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
The
point
family
out
affair.
Liam Neeson's little crew hangs together for all the movies too.
Yeah.
So like one
Yeah.
of his crew, the least of the 4 dudes that he comes with is Uncle Rico.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And if
The
you look at
least of
Uncle
which.
Rico-
Sorry,
if you
that's
look
funny.
at John Gry's list, man, he's in Taken 2 and Taken 3.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, He
amazing.
doesn't play.
I love
Yes, the
Uncle
crew,
Rico.
baby.
I was happy to see Uncle Rico, the guy that had to wear the fake wiener with the razor blades on it in 7. And that third guy, I don't know if you remember this, Brian might, Ibbot might. It is, let's see if I can find it. It is, where did I put it? I wrote it. Oh, here it is. Running Scared. He played Lenny the Pimp.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't remember. I
Ah.
saw that in the show notes, or not show notes, in the trivia, and I'm trying to remember who Lenny the Pimp was in that. Anyway, all I can think of is the Joey Pants character with the rooster hair.
Oh,
It
good
seems
point.
like
Yeah.
Uncle Rico would have been really young when Running Scared was made.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure, right? I mean, Running Scared is just such a classic, but I don't remember who the pimp was. I have no
No.
idea. I'm sure he was great, though. I'm sure he did a fine job. Really nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
And if I was him, by the way, I would just change my name to Uncle. First name Uncle, last name Rico, because
Yeah.
that's what.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
knows, right?
that's who you
Listen,
are. You're eating
For
steak
me,
and milk.
he's always going to also be what's his Ben Linus's dad on Lost. That's
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I forgot he did
Yeah.
that. He's also
Yeah.
has an amazing run as a very short run as like a sort of a hobo on Seinfeld, where he gets hired to run a rickshaw, but then he steals the rickshaw. Anyway, it's very funny.
What about you, Randy? Is your favorite role from Real Genius? I know
Was he
you
in
love
Real
some Real
Genius?
Genius.
I do. I
oh
love
yeah,
that
Laszlo.
movie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that movie. I think Laszlo is a classic archetype. Like, yes,
yeah.
thank you.
That's amazing. I don't remember that at all. And we did that movie, didn't we?
We did that movie.
No, we
No, we
haven't.
didn't.
Oh.
Nope.
What did we do?
No,
Well,
no.
Scott
I've
and
been
I did it
waiting.
recently for some reason.
We
Why
did
we
something
watch it recently?
science or strange. What was it? Hold on.
Yeah, you guys watched.
Wait,
on Discord.
Randy, did you hear that? These guys betrayed us.
Yes,
Hold
I know.
on.
No, I
Watched it
was
behind
there.
her back.
I noticed them watching it on Discord. I went and complained.
Right.
They argued with me.
Oh, I know why. Because we thought when we chose to watch it for Couch Party, we chose it because it was more
You
comedy.
thought
We thought it'd be too funny
Yeah.
for a film set.
Yeah. And somebody in the
No,
community
absolutely
wanted
not.
I
it.
stand behind it. I
Yeah.
stand behind that decision.
I
too.
do too. I don't think we need to apologize for this at all. It's fine.
yeah, that's what somebody who says doesn't want to apologize.
No. Definitely don't want to apologize for that. Let's see here. There's a weird piece of trivia that I cannot get my head around. It says, before any action takes place, Brian already has scratches to the left side of his face, hinting at his spare time activities. What does that
Yeah,
mean?
so we're supposed to be questioning at the beginning of the movie, what's this guy doing for a living?
Mm.
And you know,
Bouncer,
so,
maybe?
yeah, so like they went ahead and gave him some recent, like marks on his face so you could understand that this is not new to him. He's not jumping into physical altercations, like his job as a security guy or whatever
Right.
is causing him to get in a lot of fights. He's practiced.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
and he's still got the edge. Just they kind of imply that after he does his little bodyguard thing,
Yeah.
where he gets more love from the singer than his own daughter.
No kidding, man. Right?
Right.
It's a great way to set up that
Poly
final.
balance.
Great way to.
I don't know.
That final scene I think it was a good payoff. I liked how they handled it.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although,
No,
although as a
I was
parent,
hoping she'd get taken again. Go ahead.
I'm going to drop you off here with these fine Albanian men who are going to take you to meet Charlene or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of hey, surprise, I'm going to spring you for an impromptu singing audition that you have not prepared for with one of your musical idols. Good luck.
Yeah.
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 Okay, but
You-
can I just give you my biggest complaint about
Do
this
it.
whole
Do it.
freaking movie?
Do it.
He is so badass. He is a freaking killer. This is a guy who will not let anything get in his way. But when he goes to meet his daughter at a restaurant and he's got this really cool thing to give her, he just gets steamrolled and never actually shows her the thing. Oh my God, no. No.
You
That-
don't
But
like
I
that?
loved it.
Oh no, I believe it.
I-
It proves that she is the one person who can fluster him and frustrate him and like put him in his place.
Yeah.
Is his ex-wife.
I did.
Lenny.
gives her the power back, right?
Lenore.
So you see,
Yeah,
he's
Lenore.
got so many regrets. I mean, the whole movie opens up with him having remembering a 5-year-old daughter who's passing him by basically, and just life is just he missed out.
Yeah.
He's trying to recover that, and I thought that was perfect because that's the only place that he has a weakness. He doesn't have parental particular set of skills at all.
No, his particular set of skills do not include a good young child parenting. But making it up parenting, pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buys her some kind of soda. Yeah.
Yeah.
My issue with the film is that he is too much of a blunt object for being, for being a preventer. Whatever
Right,
that is.
right.
I love that we invented a whole term there. We could have just said
Yeah.
anything real.
Yeah.
That he doesn't keep anybody alive long enough to actually get some pertinent information. He gets one little shred of information and then kills the person and says, well, I've only got this one little thread to hang on to find something.
Right.
It's like, you got 6 guys right here. You've knocked them all unconscious. Just tie them up and take turns shooting them until they give you information that you want.
There you go.
He was
I
he was
agree.
a preventer, so he never got to the part where things actually happen. He's not an investigator.
Screw these 8 bad guys I've just knocked unconscious. I'm going to take this drugged up girl because she's wearing my daughter's jacket. I'm sure she'll have some pertinent info, which oddly enough she did. But
did, but she was a little bit of a chick in the bucket in this movie because she seemed really important for a hot second, and then suddenly she's gone. I'm sure
Who's that now? I must have missed that.
The random person that he saves. He finds later that his daughter's
the jacket.
I thought you were joking, Brian.
Yeah,
it was like the perfect response of like, who are you talking
who
about?
you mean?
Jacket girl.
Jacket. We call her Jackie.
Gotcha.
Her name's Jackie for
Jackie.
short. And
I left her somewhere in Paris. Left her in Paris. Her own parents can come and find her.
Yeah.
But, I got my daughter. That's all that matters.
That and Amanda is like,
Amanda's
I'm out.
There's nothing,
I
nothing he can
know,
do
but
with
he
Amanda.
just he didn't take her body or nothing. He's like, I'm out.
I don't understand why this movie insisted on killing Amanda and not having her be the first rescue. Because I needed an explanation for why he only rescues one out of maybe 24 women that he should stop and help, who are all desperate for help.
Well,
Amanda dies. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he does wipe out everybody in that house that is all the Marcos in that house that have all the women hooked up to IVs. So presumably, once he leaves the place and is a good safe distance, he calls his crooked Paris buddy and says, by the way, here's a house full of women who can go help.
There's some dead bodies. Amanda had to die because we needed to understand that Kim's character was in danger. I mean, that's also because we're moving along quickly, right? That's what this movie does.
And she becomes, and Amanda would become like a albatross around his neck to try and manage while he's driving against the wrong way in traffic, trying to get to a ship.
All he needs to do is some more phlebotomy, and he can
just
save all
put her in.
people.
He's just got a particular set of hotel rooms with women.
Exactly.
I have an IV, but no hook, so I'm gonna MacGyver this shit.
Right, that's the one thing. These damn IV bags never come with a hook.
Never come with a hook.
I do love that though. I want him to say I have a particular set of whatever that is needed. So it's like I have a particular set of utensils to eat this meal. I have a particular set of car keys to start this car. I love that.
I thought about it though. It's like, well, he's a preventer. Maybe he does end up in a lot of situations where people are having to have drugs flushed out or emergency kits or something. The movie moves so fast. I never had a chance to sit and ponder too long. It was like, next thing you know, he's breaking into some kind of rich guy's separate dungeons. Places in France are so weird. Nothing. I'm like, how do these houses work in apartments? I don't understand anything.
Yeah,
Going
they do have the catacombs
and you're on the
over
fifth
there.
floor.
They pretty much have the
that's what
catacombs
I'm
built into every apartment.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, you're in the bathroom and you can see your friend getting killed or taken. And I was like, is it U-shaped? I don't know.
Yeah.
I live in America. Everything's ranch style.
I know that would be 4 apartments in New York. That U-shaped giant U-shaped apartment. That
right.
Yeah,
but it was good.
Yeah. And I like that they just get right to it. This isn't a movie that messes around too much. It establishes character early on, establishes his level of concern for a trip like this, and his wife's disdain for his overly cautious nature, blah, 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 and all that.
It was made 5 minutes before everybody had a smartphone, so you were able to ignore the ability to track people. Like nowadays you'd have like air tags and everything, right?
I've placed an air tag under your skin. I will know exactly where you are.
We have a particular set of trio phones, and there was a trio.
Have though was pretty cool.
Was that a trio phone? I think that was a trio, wasn't it?
I was trying to tell. I couldn't quite tell.
What was that?
It's a block. It's a candy bar.
Yeah, exactly. Trios are more rounded and square. This thing was long and white and blocky.
Whatever she had though, it had a color screen and stuff. I don't know. It seemed more than just a.
It seemed like he stole
that
from the government.
It was nothing. It looked nothing like a Trio 650, which was the trio that I had.
Gotcha. Okay.
Could have been an earlier model, but hey, that. The little memory card with the photos on it is perfect for a Blade Runner Deckard style zoom and enhance.
Yes, Scott Hammer,
God, I loved
put
it.
down on that trope alert.
I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
Ready?
We have. We have the technology popping up when it's most convenient, baby. Like, oh, look at this, a perfect match for the card reader that I'm going to be able to scan through in like 5 minutes. He's just like, he's right next door, apparently, to a train station that has the perfect card reader for his needs.
Yeah.
The attention to detail on that kind of stuff is kind of weird, though, because they established it earlier that he was a photog. He liked taking photos, and so he was always messing around with photos. And I'm like, oh, so he gets this particular set of skills? I don't know.
Yeah,
That's another one of his particular set of skills.
Yeah, he's got a lot of
but
skills.
imagine if he had 96 hours and he wasted 82 of them trying to make the tech work. Right?
I think he would be wasting 82 of them in line at the French Kinko's trying to make a fake laminated police badge.
You know, they call that Frinkos over there. It's Frinkos. Frinkos. Or the, sorry, La Frinkos. I got to get that right.
Le Frinkos. Yeah. He's also a brilliant master of disguise. You know that if you want to be ignored in France, you get a shopping bag, grocery bag, put 2 baguettes and, a bunch of leaf lettuce sticking out of the top, and no one will look at you.
No one will know.
I did like how, I mean, it was just like the most low key kind of stuff. And even there was even times I was like, oh, how is he going to sneak into this place? And I'm like, well, he doesn't go against type at all. He's just like, I like a cop. I'm going to play like a cop. I'm just going to find a reason why a cop would be in here.
And apparently, no one in France. We were always told everybody in France is going to stop it with your American accent. Nobody in France ever even blinks at his American accent. He never speaks French the entire movie.
Well,
it's fine.
That was weird because when he was in the hideout with the douchebag level villains,
the Marco Party.
Yeah, that place.
The Marco Party
place sucked ass. But when he was in there, he's like talking about how he's going to enforce whatever. And I'm like, wouldn't it be better if you used an accent to kind of fool these guys? Because you sound like you just
at least try and sound
they're
French.
A bunch of Marcos. What do they know? They're a bunch of Marcos. French, whatever. It all sounds the same.
I actually agree with you, Dunaway. When he's talking to Albanians, I don't think the French barrier is a problem. It's just all the rest of the time. Him getting in and out of the country, for instance. How the hell does he get out of the country after killing so many people? Like it would have been really interesting to see him smuggle his daughter into like Belgium or something right before they are able to fly home. You know,
after shooting a wife of a cop, it's great.
It's a great time.
I did want to see the French police officer's boss man because I really wanted to see if his desk was bigger. I was trying to figure out if that was.
Oh, he talked about his desk constantly. That guy would
really
not
did.
shut
It was
up
a
about
total
that.
desk measuring contest.
Yeah. Like when you said it, he said it once. I went, oh, that makes sense. And he said it twice, and I went, okay, fine. Said it 3 times. I'm like, all right.
He's got a chip on his shoulder about the size of his desk. He really does.
And he won't stop saying
desk envy.
I am tied to a desk now. I'm like, all right.
little D energy.
Yeah, little desk energy. That's great. Let's go back. Can we talk just real quick about the rating? Because I'm still a little surprised at the PG-13.
PG-13. Yeah,
it's not super bloody or anything, but everything that they show violence-wise, it is implied to be gnarly. Like even the guy holding the daughter at the end when he does the final shot, when he starts speaking. Awesome shot, by the way. I love that.
Right.
It's like he knew if he waited for him to speak, the guy was going to negotiate. And then as soon as he says something, he's off his guard. Pop! Get him right in the head. But even that scene, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I realized, they didn't show me any blood or any kind of like spatter or nothing, but it didn't matter. It felt gnarly. Everything did.
Yeah, there's scenes of torture. That alone, they must have really fought hard.
The electrocution scene was the worst for me. That was the closest to rated R. Like I felt like they sat with the ratings board and were like, okay, how much more of this? How many seconds do we need to pull out of the electrocution scene to get a PG-13? It was so gory in that moment.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. But you know what I mean though? It's like, can we get more? Yeah, they always say that PG-13 is toothless. This was a toothed.
Toothful, very toothful.
Very toothful. I don't know. Is that the right word? I don't know. Compared to like other efforts I've seen like this, and then some R-rated stuff is R-rated for no reason, and I don't get it. Like this, I think this is more violent than say, it's maybe not as visceral, but it's more violent than like Fury Road or something. And Fury Road is a hard R. Why? You know?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I think you have a difference in what they're going for as filmmakers. I really genuinely believe that filmmakers are like, they say up front that we're sending you an R-rated movie to rate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
George Miller did.
Yeah.
He told them this is an R-rated movie that you're going to rate.
Yeah, I think
Right.
and like
And we know
Furiosa,
that the
Furiosa is
board-
way more R than this is, or than Fury
Yeah,
Road is. But
agreed.
Yeah.
but it's like, well, who's whatever? The MPAA is stupid. Go ahead.
They
we know
really
it's
are
a board
inconsistent. Yeah.
It's
They-
lame. I don't like it.
judgment call. I mean, I think part of it may be through justification of justifiable violence. It's like, oh, he's doing these things because he has to versus some other type of motivation. I don't know exactly what all it is. I mean, I think there's only like one F-bomb. But to me, anytime you have scenes of torture, I think I'm like, that's a bridge too far typically.
Yeah, and if you would have
violence,
asked me right after I got finished and said, "Hey Scott, how many F-bombs did you notice?" I'd go, "Oh, it's probably dozens, right?" No.
Right.
If there was one at all, I don't even remember that one, but it's just a weird thing that I'm not used to because most movies they wear on their sleeve whatever their rating is, and this thing just feels like it straddled it in a way that made me like I don't know that it doesn't even matter. You're going to see it, but do I want it to be a little more R? Would I have liked people to get all bloodied up and brain spray and all the stuff they would normally do? I don't think I needed it. I think it was fine.
No, you didn't need it all. I was excited. All the little hits landed and made nice little meat noise. Loved it.
All of the depictions of R-rated things are spliced up to be PG-13. Like when he stabs people, you see the knife coming, but you don't see it go in.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
When he finds a girl being raped, and that's the one that he saves. You just see a guy on her. You don't really see what's going on in there in that moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Like it's all just like
a lot of
cut really
it's all,
fast.
Yeah, and it's all implied to the so that you walk away with more imagination about how hideous this is than having to show me. And I don't know. I appreciate when that can be done well. And I think it's done really well in this movie. You know,
I thought it was done. You know, else was done really well. First of all, I didn't understand the construction site bordello at all, but I accepted it. But it did generate one of my favorite scenes in the whole film, which was having a shitty car race. And I mean, there were a bunch of shitty cars, and it was a chase scene involving those, and that was fantastic.
Dukes of Hazzard in a Paris construction site, man.
Yeah.
And they were being careful. They were being careful with these shit cars too. And I was like, wow. Usually you reserve that for like the high end cars, but I thought it was a pretty good scene.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought the car stuff it reminded me of Ronin. I always think of that movie.
It's such a great. It's one of the best car chases, at least modern car chases. What's the one the waterfront? Not on the waterfront. What's the one that had them going under the
not Chinatown? What's the other one?
French Connection.
French Connection, same director, I think. I think Ronan is the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Did anybody else laugh unexpectedly when the very first mini boss gets himself killed in the highway?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was great. I was a little surprised. I kind of thought he was going to last, so that was a nice surprise to just. And I didn't remember him dying from my previous viewing of it, but
no, me neither. Yeah.
It's like he's one of those he's one of those interesting characters that is bad, but we're not. I'm not even sure he knows. He's kind of the guy that's like, well, I'm going to get these girls because you're paying me, but I don't really know what you're doing after that. And that's always
He's not
interesting.
doing the dirty work.
Yeah, that's always interesting, right? To just play around in that.
I was set up to laugh because when you first see him escaping at the airport, he's just running up a road, like onto a highway. He looks like Will Ferrell. You know, like there's something funny about how he escapes on foot. You know,
you want to see somebody look like they're not running, then film them the way you filmed him, which is a direct line. So he's running directly away from the camera, so you can't tell any speed. It looks like
really slow. Yeah,
it looks really slow because the way they shot it, and I love that. And then they quick cut, and when he didn't look both ways when he crossed the road, I knew he was going to get squashed.
Yeah,
and that was fantastic. Yes. And then Liam Neeson's face, like,
it's that is the big trope too. They don't, there's no sound of brakes being applied. It is porn. Like in this moment is like, I'm gonna honk honk to let you know that you're dead. That I'm about to smash you.
Honk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That, by the way, that is counted among Liam Neeson's 35 kills in this movie.
Oh, they count
nice,
it?
nice.
Oh, really?
He did.
He's not responsible. I mean,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he
No, he
did.
chased the
He
guy.
would've
He chased the
been
guy
fine.
into traffic.
all right, he's responsible, but he didn't.
But that guy was
Okay.
way far away at that point. Like he was down and over to the that kid's just stupid.
I love the processing too for the character themselves, trying to figure out whether he was going to jump off onto that truck too, and he's like, nah.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
I've gone this far. It's always interests me whenever you see a cop chasing somebody in a movie, and it's like when you realize the cop's not into it as much as the person fleeing, because to the cop it's just a job,
Right.
And so it's like they jump into the water, and then the cop runs up and goes, I don't get paid that much.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like,
Yeah. If I had any real beef,
Such an accurate portrayal.
the only real beef I have with the movie is the computer tech was kind of dumb. And every time you guys mentioned it earlier, but just like a little too convenient at the time they needed it. Those guys trying to track his location. What notebook was that? What software were they using?
It was so good.
Oh, I don't know, but he had a little handheld Alinco. I had the exact same little ham radio type thing that he had sitting up there on one of those roofs with sitting across from a cell phone.
That part was fine. I don't like what they see on their screens. That's my biggest beef. It's just so made up and animated. And like when he's doing the zoom and enhance on the reflection of the guy's after now, the kid, before he finds him and he gets hit by a car. He does it with the reflection on that poster behind his daughter. Well, with what software is doing? What is zooming in?
I couldn't decide, because I remember there was a time when you used to render images on technology from the top down. So you go from the top left pixel, and you just, and then we did for a while. We said, oh, we're gonna show a thumbnail of a compressed thing, and then we'll uncompress the image eventually. But I don't know. I take your meaning.
You know what I mean, though? It's not
Yeah.
like this movie's the most egregious use of this, not even close, but I just wish movies would just trust us with our tech and just go, you know what, it's okay. And I realize in 2024, we have technology that will do zoom enhancing. AI enhanced photo stuff is real. You take a blurry old piece of shit, and you can make it look right. You can absolutely do that today, but you couldn't do that.
And then you go back to the
2008.
airport and you kill the wrong guy because the AI hallucinated a face into the thing. What I don't
I'm
understand.
looking for a six-fingered man.
Yeah. Where I completely agree with you, Scott, is that in the movie itself, there are so many cases of him doing regular police work, not using technology.
Right.
So, for example, he goes to where the hookers hang out. He finds a pimp. He follows the pimp back. Like something the police should have done. Right? You're like, I'm like sitting there going, how is this so easy for Liam Neeson and the police haven't done it yet? But like, it's just like this really basic stuff that doesn't require technology. He uses a freaking dictionary, a literal language dictionary.
Yeah.
It doesn't require tech.
I love that he hired a guy, and the guy has to show up with his little book and on, obviously the bad side of town, and obviously desperate for a job.
My favorite part of the movie.
Clearly,
is that guy sitting, Liam is suddenly getting out of the car, and that guy goes, "What do you want me to do? Just stay here.
Don't move.
Stay here. I'm paying you for 10 hours.
Don't do shit." Yeah, it's one of those things where I know not everything can do like Sneakers did and try to nail it for the time they're in, but and I know that moviegoers want to be wowed by it, but whatever, it's like doctors seeing ER, anyone seeing anything they're really familiar with, it's going to seem wrong because movies don't do that much homework on this stuff, and it's fine.
Yeah,
I can get over it. I did like that.
Wasn't it in ER that what's his face held his hand up and the helicopter chopped his hand off? Is that a fever dream, or did that actually
Dr.
happen?
Romano.
Okay,
Dr. Romano.
okay,
same guy that got greased on the front of the car in RoboCop. Same guy, same actor.
That's right.
He gets killed in the worst ways, or gets hurt in the worst ways, I should say. He didn't get killed in the ER.
What if you just chop my hand off? That'd be pretty cool, right?
He was also the cancer eater guy in X-Files.
X-Files, right?
Oh, that's right.
What a weird actor. What a weird career. It's like, hey, we're going to make you a doctor on ER. Sweet. Don't worry. We'll be chopping your arm off at the top of the roof. Okay, good.
That's right.
Such a weird thing. But anyway. By the way, I didn't find anything too gross except for just let's see if I can play it.
Gross.
For me, it was just the idea of human trafficking just grosses me out.
Oh, I thought for sure it was right before the torture, the electrical jumper cables torture. The guy spits in Liam Neeson's face, and that was real.
Oh, right. And then
You
he gets a dirty cloth in the mouth. That's
yes. Oh, then he wipes it off with something that's arguably worse.
Oh, you know what? Good point. That is pretty gross. I don't like it when anyone spits on anybody in the movie, and that looked real. I think he really spit on him.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah,
if you were...
I think Liam leaned in and said, "Really spit on me this time."
I think they do. I actually think they do. I think actors get together and they're like, let's just get the fewest takes possible, and we're gonna make this real because it's gonna be real. Here, eat all these Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, eat all these Tic Tacs is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, just eat a bunch of like cinnamon Tic Tacs, and then you can spit on me all day. That's fine.
Spit.
Oh wow, Scott! What a change! What a change up for Scott.
Hawk
I know.
Chua, you know what
I
I'm
know
saying?
what we're doing in Vegas.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I'm just trying to think under what circumstances this would be allowed for me. Like, I would have to be like that, like you do with
You have to be getting paid Liam Neeson money, and I'd have somebody spit on me like, "Come on, do it, spit right in the face."
I mean,
baby."
there might be like a thing, like when people eat in movies, they just spit it in a can when the camera stops, and then they do it again, and they bite it and chew it and then spit it. So there's probably some kind of trick with spitting. Like, I don't know what it would be, but if you got to do 4 takes,
I don't
of that,
think so. I think they get paid a particular set of money, and they'll take a particular amount of spit to the face. Is what I think.
You think so? Yeah. Hey, Liam, will you let him spit in your face? I'll do it for a particular set of money.
Right.
So I also want him to call everything sets of things. So set of money,
yes,
particular set of spoiled milk, whatever. I don't care.
That's right.
Bring it in.
Is this the particular set of script that I'm supposed to be reading from today?
It's just the way
That's
this
his word of the
guy
day.
talks. Yeah.
You just can't stop using it.
It's amazing. So this is 10. I was getting all in my head about the timing of this. This is 10 years after Qui-Gon Jinn in Phantom Menace. This is 3 years after Batman Begins. And I feel like so you go Schindler's List and then some decent movies and then a real empty space for him except Star Wars. Just like a big flat nothing. And then this thing comes along. And now I feel like since 2008, which we're now, 16 years or what are we? Yeah, 16 years ago.
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like we are more Neesoned up than ever. Every once in a while, I just see a trailer and he's like, a man stuck in a box has to revenge for his thing. And it's just like constant
boxing.
This template is such a weird one. If you think about who he was prior to this is weird. And I'm here for it. I love it. I haven't not enjoyed any of it. That Snow one that Ibbott recommended a couple years ago, I love that movie.
Is that good?
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah.
It's way better than it deserves to be. But so does this.
Like,
You know?
it depends on how you examine who he was before this, because he was, Ducard in Batman Begins. He was Qui-Gon Jinn. These are like serious action. He was in Gangs of New York. This guy, if you look at it that way, this guy is a seriously active, physical, fighter.
Yeah.
But then if you look at it another way, before this, he was in Love Actually. He was in Kinsey. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was in the Orville uncredited.
Like
That's right.
before this, like if you skip all that action stuff, he was also a serious actor making dramas, and but they all kind of fit together. They go back and forth.
I forgot about the Kinsey thing. Yeah, that was a weird movie.
And it was pretty serious. Like I feel like Kinsey was, at least it was Oscar bait that didn't catch anything, right?
I think it did. Well, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't think it did that great, but it was interesting. I mean, him and not Sarsgaard. Which one's the one from Garden State? Who's the Garden State guy? Can't think of his name.
Peter Sarsgaard.
Peter
Yes,
Sarsgaard.
Peter Sarsgaard was in that. So was Chris O'Donnell. Yeah.
Yeah. Maggie Gyllenhaal's husband.
Yeah.
Right.
So
many A's in that family.
He was so good in that movie. Although, if you really want to see that guy's meat and potatoes, good news.
Meat and potatoes.
Because that movie has him walk right into the screen with his
meats
wiener
and
out.
potatoes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Meats and potatoes.
He was
the beans and the Franks.
Yep.
He was doing the voice of Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia movies around, before Taken. And like I genuinely thought he was transitioning over to being a voice actor. Like he's got a really great voice.
Yeah.
And this movie doesn't even really other than a couple of moments, right? This movie is all about one-liners. It's a follow on from like the Schwarzenegger and Stallone movies, right, where you have to do something weird and say something weird. But like he's really good at this. Like there should be more of him narrating things.
Yeah,
my opinion.
I agree. He's really, really great. And also we'll play it later. It's so iconic we have to play it. But his discussion with his daughter about, and now they're going to take you. And then when he talks to the bad guy in particular, really, really resonant, good stuff. Like just you believe it. The game is on. The intensity ratchets up. And it's Liam's voice that gets me there. He's super, super cool in that scene. And we'll play that. Don't you worry, listeners. That's coming up.
Oh, don't you worry.
That's coming up.
I have a totally random trope that I just want to make sure we got.
Oh, let's bring it in with a sound. There.
It works better with bullets in it.
The gun?
Sure.
That's such a trope. Oh my gosh. I love this. I saw it coming. I know I've seen the movie before, but I didn't remember anything about this movie.
Yeah.
And I like as soon as that guy goes and gets a gun, I'm like, I'll bet Liam Neeson took those bullets. I love this trope. It's in everything. It's in freaking Avengers Endgame, where Tony Stark steals the gems off of the freaking glove.
Yeah.
It's in this. Love this trope so much.
Yeah, you're a fan, eh? You're into it.
And in this version, he throws the bullets in the guy's face. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
He drops a few first to go. Look at it.
And then shoots then shoots his wife in the arm.
Yeah.
But then he says to be sure to apologize to her, saying, "No,
I
it's all
know.
good.
I love that. By the way,
good.
Sure to apologize to your wife for shooting her in the arm after she made me a delicious meal with poutine or whatever.
I felt bad for her. She had no knowledge of this.
She was getting a lot of information.
Yeah. And it was all happening so quick. And she's like, wait, what? What the heck? And I'm like, you poor thing. And then where was the kid? There was a kid and then there wasn't a kid. There's
the kids, they're in the bed.
They went to bed. They were put to bed and the door was closed.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way they're hearing that gunshot.
Right.
Screaming. Yeah.
That's fine, I guess.
The screaming.
I felt like that maybe. And then think about that kid coming out later and going, holy shit, mom's on the floor bleeding to death. Dad's a total douchebag.
It's a flesh wound. Don't be so dramatic.
I guess so, but that was gnarly. Worked for me. Again, R-rated themes somehow packaged as PG-13. I don't know how they did it. Do you think we'll get a fourth? You think we're
I think we already have, right? Just call it something else.
No,
Taken 4. They've taken the guy who sold me the karaoke machine at the beginning of the first movie.
Oh, there you go.
I think that the TV series is the fourth, and
there you go.
By all accounts,
there's a TV series
about as good as the rest. It's not like way better. It's not terrible. It's just about as good.
I didn't know that was a thing.
What is the stream on? Do you know? Is it AMC?
It was NBC. It's on Peacock.
Oh, so it's terrestrial. Oh, it's got to be great then. I'm sure.
All right. So apparently there is
PG-13, why not?
There's a script that's possible, and that they're considering it, but nothing's been done. And then the TV series got canceled after 2 seasons, which kind of sucks, but whatever. It's NBC.
How old is Liam Neeson now?
Neeson is in his 70s, 60s.
Yes, he could still do it.
Hold on. Let's look that up because I don't know how old he is. Liam Neeson. All right. The Irish age in a different way than we do. Here we go. He is 72 years old.
But now
72.
Okay, that's perfect. I think if they do a new one a little slower, but something maybe like they took his dog, that'd be good.
Oh, but that's just
like
John Wick.
It's
John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like just down the street, it's like his neighbors took his dog, so he had to go too far. It doesn't travel too far. Just keep it kind of personal.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I think that's a decent idea. Any other thoughts you guys had on this here film?
It's like there's just not a lot of things to take from a man, and like a lot of it had already been done. Like in a lot of those revenge movies that came before Taken, you just take the man's dignity, right? Like Unforgiven,
right?
In the Line of Fire is the Clint Eastwood version of this.
That's funny. I wrote that down. Very similar films to me. They feel a lot of
Yeah, and so you like take their dignity more than anything. But then there's also others where you just, flat out take their family or whatever.
Yeah.
What we watched a movie, famous movie a few months ago where what's the oh
It's just breaking him. You can hear the cracking.
my brain
Not the
falling
one.
apart.
Not the one where he was on the plane, right? Not that one. Not Liam
Yes,
Neeson.
it was a turbulence or
What was that called? I love that thing.
Close
That was
enough.
That was really
You got it close enough. Turbulence, whatever.
red eye turbulence, whatever.
great. Yeah, because we did Red Eye real close.
We're
to
not
that.
gonna squabble over names. Come on.
Right. Well, I mean, you do what you can.
This is not the first time I've had a hard time remembering this movie. It was my first watching on Filmsack, and it stars Tom Hanks.
What is it?
And we watched it maybe 9 months ago.
Oh, what is it?
And
I need to know.
yes, Road to Perdition.
Oh,
So,
Road to
like-
Perdition. Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Road to Perdition. I don't know whether it comes before or after Taken, even, but like it's
Before.
you take a man's family basically,
Yeah.
and he has to go kill everybody in town.
Yeah. Including
Mhm.
there's even the subplot about the guy he needs to kill. What's his name? Paul Newman. Ultimately needs to kill him. Is a friend, is a father figure, even that is a little bit like him finding out his French buddy is a dick or is
Whereas
Yeah.
sold.
in Taken, brilliantly, the final boss is Baron Harkonnen. I love this.
Yeah.
I love that this movie has all these mini bosses, like 100 mini bosses, and the final boss is freaking Baron Harkonnen.
Basically, he's just like lounging around in his bed, eating
right.
lard, and trying to get a new girl in there. Like, what the hell?
Freaking awesome.
These people exist, right? These are like real oligarchs do this shit. I'm not just making that up in my head, right? That's a thing.
I talked to my family about this after we watched the movie. We were like, so on the one hand, right, billionaires are the most observed people on the planet. They would have a really hard time getting away with crimes that could be easily proved like this,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Like it would just it would be very, very difficult. So you would think billionaires would just like lay low. Like they wouldn't actually do this. They can afford to do it legally, whatever they want to do.
Whatever
Anything
legally
they wanna do.
means, yeah.
Right. But then my wife goes, Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like, yeah, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Why would you give up all of your power and riches to commit obvious crimes?
Because you're a freaking pervy beast. That's why.
Because it's those crimes that got you all of your power and riches.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, in his
so-
case, his whole thing was, well, I mean, I don't know that much about his motivations, but the guy was I think something happens when you have so much money that there's it's meaningless to have as much money as you have.
Yeah.
And I think people get to a point where it's like,
all about the power.
I can buy any experience in this world that exists. And so now I'm bored and I need forbidden.
Yeah.
I need forbidden fruits.
What's the new hit of dopamine going to be? It's going to be auctioning off virgins and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what happens when Winona Ryder went from picking up stuff because it was a thrill.
the shoplifting
nth
thing.
degree,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shoplifting.
Well,
Yeah, it's like
but we're-
she tested it and she's like, "No, this is no good. I don't like it."
We're talking
And
about
I guess the other people didn't.
Yeah,
we're talking about a very different level of power and
Very particular set of
Oh,
references.
I'm talking about a small relatable jump so you can understand how
yeah.
power and that kind of thrill is unpurchasable, like Scott said.
Yeah, at
Something
some
that
point,
you have
at some
to-
point, you're just like
you have to take.
everything's at the nice reference taken. At some point, it's all you have access to everything. You want to go to Ibiza on your private plane and be there in 10 minutes and party all night and do drugs that nobody else has. Good, you're in, no problem. You can afford that. You can afford that every day. I think at some point they just go. I mean, it could be wrong, but I think the reason there's so many weirdos on that Epstein list is because they're just like, well, what else is there in life? They can't keep their wives don't really love them. Their kids hate them. Like, There's no.
I love how you're throwing shade. Their wives don't love them. Suck it, rich man.
I guarantee it's whether we want to acknowledge it or not. There's very few billionaires, if any, who are actually happy. I'll bet you money they're mostly.
I
not.
guarantee you they're not happy in the way that we think of happiness. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so their happiness is let's traffic young girls and buy one. That's an ultimate thrill.
Money can't buy happiness at a certain point. Surely it can take away all of our worries, but once it gets to another level, it's like, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So there's like
you can pay your bills.
Curve, and you're on like most people. 99% of people are on the not enough money to be really truly happy side of the bell curve. And then you very quickly crest it and start falling into the nothing can satisfy me side of the bell curve.
Yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's the whole thing is just kind of sad, but also interesting as a plot device in this film to explore.
Right.
Because it makes you.
Because
you're not just.
What's he doing? Why?
Yeah, but you're not just you're not just rooting for him and finding his daughter. Right. You're rooting for all this shit to be shut down, right?
Yeah.
Like I was. That's who I was rooting for. I mean, I'm rooting for her and I'm rooting for him, but I'm like, also, why don't we kill all these weirdos and and the white guy in the elevator, or not the white guy, the American guy. The American guy in the elevator, nobody creeped me out.
Last mini boss.
Yeah, nobody creeped me out like he did. He gave me the freaking willies, and I don't know why. Just so calm, cool, and collected. What did they think I meant by quietly kill him, or whatever he said?
Right.
It's like
he provided the best Liam Neeson line in the whole movie, and I wonder if we're going to get to hear it again in a second, where he says that this is just business, and Liam Neeson says it's personal for me.
Oh yeah, when he goes, "This isn't personal." I think I did capture that, and then shot him in an amazing moment. It's real good, and he deserved it.
Again, with the trope of the woman looking over, holding her glass, and the door opens. It's the Die Hard Christmas party when now I have a gun.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's funny. Yeah, it's definitely, again, a lot of borrowed ideas, but they're all good ones, Yeah. And I could watch Die Hard right now. So movies like Die Hard, freaking sign me up. I'm all set. Let's watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to some clips here.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll let Randy go first. I just had a couple things.
Oh, go ahead, please. Yeah.
When you're crossing in crosswalks against a large number of people, and if you make eye contact with them, you inevitably will walk into them.
Yeah.
Because same thing I assume happens when you're driving against oncoming traffic. You assume this movie makes it look like everybody just stays in their lane. Just like, he'll go from that far right lane to the far left lane and avoid me, as opposed to, oh crap, he's in my lane, I need to go to the left as well, and doesn't that problem. Yeah. And then finally, Famke Janssen is Meme Gray.
Yeah, Meme Gray.
Meme Gray.
I like it. Nicely done. She looked great.
That's the last of my notes.
She's just so striking. Something about her, man.
Yeah, she's really purdy.
She really is. It's like that episode of Next Generation where I am Auric of old, or whatever the hell she says. I am for you, Auric of old. Like, even then, I remember going, oh, she'll be a lady to watch in future, and she was. And now look at her, hubba hubba. All right, let's get into the clippage. Let's see here. I have this ready, don't I? I do. Okay, check it out. We're going to start with this one. This is never trust a guy that does this.
I wish they all could be California girls.
That's where there's trouble.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't go to his party.
A special kind of cute to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, very special set of cute to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's this? Oh, really? Is a great moment in the movie. Okay. I don't know what I meant, but here it is.
Now, the next part is very important. They're going to take you.
Kim, stay focused, baby. This is key.
You will have 5, maybe 10 seconds. Very important seconds.
Leave the phone on the floor. Concentrate.
Shout out everything you see about them. Hair color.
Eye color, tall, short, scars.
Anything you see, you understand?
It's intense, man.
Yeah.
Although
understand. I like that.
Here's what's great though. This is what I love about it. She has like 5-10 seconds. Tells her what to do. Okay, great. And just the idea, though, made me laugh a little bit, is when you start yanking her out from under the bed by her feet, and she starts going, 6 foot tall, dark hair,
Right.
like yelling off all these
All I
descriptions.
caught was 6 foot tall. I didn't catch anything else she yelled.
Tattoo. Yeah.
Tattoo. Okay, I figured tattoo because he was looking for a tattoo, but
Yeah.
I didn't hear tattoo. All I heard was,
It made me laugh.
When you listen to it for the duration of a 9-hour flight from Los
Yeah,
Angeles
that's
to Paris,
true.
over and over and over.
Can
again.
you imagine being the flight crew on that one? I don't know what the hell he's doing back
Yeah.
there.
Or sitting next to him. Oh my god! I always sit next to the guy listening to "Good
Right.
luck, good luck, good
Yeah,
luck"
good
over
luck,
and over.
Good luck. Hey, you take Coke. You take a Coke or a ginger ale to 27B. He's driving me crazy. All right, this is the best part of Taken, and I'll play it now. I think this is so good.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Good luck.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
The guy on the
Son
other,
of a
the guy
bitch
on
hung
the
up
other
on
end
me.
of that
Yeah.
call didn't understand most of what was said. He's Albanian. He's
Right.
just like, okay,
Al-
whatever.
Also, that phone
Should
sounded
have said, okay.
that phone sounded like a payphone getting hung up. It didn't sound like
Yeah.
a cell phone. Clunk. All right. This is a weird little bit of audio. May even sound familiar based on what I just played, but this is when Ibit's date. No, you showed up at the wrong door. It wasn't the right girl.
Oh,
Yeah, and this is what you said.
I don't know who you are.
All right.
why are you wearing my date's jacket?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Where did you get this jacket?
I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
All right, we got one of these here. I don't ever play this, so I'll play it now. Here we go.
Say my name.
All right, so this is where they say the name of the
nice.
movie. Enjoy.
She's been taken.
She's been taken. Taken. That's the name of the movie. Taken.
Yeah.
Here's a fun line.
I push one button and 30 agents will be here before you have time to scratch your worthless balls.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you know they're worthless?
I mean,
you're right, but how do you know?
that's a good question. It's a weird thing to go after because if your balls, I mean, he's obviously he's trying to insult him, but it's a very specific insult.
Does he have kids? If he's got kids, and I guess they weren't useless. If they don't work, I guess they would be useless. Right?
Well,
That's
he
the-
says
that was the
worthless,
demarcation.
worthless, not useless. So I think he's just like he's speaking to the worth of his balls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's
much
nothing that would
shriveled
come out
up
of there that would
or,
provide value.
Right. They don't
Unimpressive balls.
Unimpressive balls.
Your balls do not provide value. I like that.
I provide no extra value.
All right, here's a.
If they were on McDonald's menu, they'd be on the dollar menu.
That's right. Here's the it's personal moment.
It wasn't personal.
It was all personal to me.
Ooh, God, nice gunshot, dude. It's great. You know what? That's a good one-liner because it isn't really a one-liner. It works. It's not him going, oh, have fun talking to the pig or whatever dumb thing you'd say. That's not even a thing, but you know what I mean? Like weird thing you'd say, but it's all in context. It's the guy said a thing. He answered it. It doesn't feel like cheese. It's a great one-liner. I love it. It was personal to me. Yeah. I couldn't save them all. Oh, that's Schindler's List. All right. Here's a great little fighting sequence. Just cracked me up for some reason. Yeah, that's great.
That sounds like it came from the Jackie Chan movie we watched a couple weeks ago.
It totally does. It was very comedic sounding. I don't like it. All right. And then this is before Brian goes to Vegas. And this is what Tina says before you leave. All right. I don't know why I'm getting you today, but you're on you're on the list. So here it is. Before Brian goes to Vegas.
Brian, if there's anything you need,
I've got everything I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, and it had Brian in it. This is why I used it because Brian was saying.
Yeah. Freaking Brian with a Y if you watch subtitles.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
like
crazy.
how do you feel when you watch a movie with somebody with your name in it? Is it weird at all? Because
It's a little weird. Yeah.
For me too. I don't like it when
Keeps me
there's a Scott.
focused. Yeah, it keeps me focused.
Ask
though.
me
Like,
how
oh,
it feels to watch South Park.
Oh my gosh, Randy.
I don't know, Randy. How does it sound? How does it work?
Well,
Randy?
how does it feel to be named after the funniest character in South Park? See, that's
See,
a positive. spin.
that's the thing though. This is a character. If you're hearing their name, they've done something terrible. Like he's the worst.
It's true. He is funny, but he's always doing something terrible. For those that don't know, that's Stan's dad, Randy Marsh.
Randy Marsh.
For me, it's Scott. What's his name in all the Ant-Man movies is hard for me to hear over and over because they yell his name a lot.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's a lot of Scott this, Scott that. It's like
Yeah.
it feels weird and it's kind of hard for me to get used to. So that's why I was curious. And this had a lot of Brian's in it. So
Yep.
well, those are your clips. Let's move on now to this here deal.
There you go. What the hell do you want from me?
Yeah, what do you want from me?
Those set of clips.
Specific set of clips. Let's get to the Filmsack checklist. Never trust French boys when you get off the plane. Check.
Right.
The lamest old friend barbecue ever. Check.
Oh,
Nah.
disagree. I could imagine
hard
much more
disagree.
lame than this.
Yeah, you're probably
This
right.
was actually these guys showing up at your door and they brought steaks for the grill. Let's go, boys.
Good point.
I know they all, but it's almost like they timed them in. Like, all right, you hold up the beer while I hold up the wine, and then like all at the same time.
Yep.
Did you forget?
The only bummer for me for any of that is not bummer. I was sure Leland Orser's character Sam, the friend with the hair.
Yeah,
and
the one we get more from than just
Right, yeah.
brief.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very different role though than I'm used to from him,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
kinda
for
nice.
sure.
But I was 100% sure that him going, "Hey, we got these other things going on. You want to come work again?" And I was sure he was going to end up being a problem, like a insider,
Right. Yeah.
turncoat thing, and they didn't do it. So I guess trope avoided. Well done, guys. You did it. Part of it is because it was Leland Orser. That guy's just chaotically untrustworthy. So I love him though. All right, moving on to this hero thing.
By the way, the I looked it up. So David Warshofsky that we talked about earlier from Running Scared, he's from the newer Running Scared that has nothing to do with the old Gregory Hines Billy Crystal movie.
Oh shit.
However, Lester the Pimp. However, John Grease, our dad and our less dad was on in Running Scared.
Oh, the 2000.
talked about
mention
this.
that? Yeah. You did mention
Oh
that.
shit.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't. I got these mixed. I thought it was from the original, the OG one.
Yeah, nope, not the OG one. I mean, the John Grease from the OG one, but
Right.
which is funny because you had said Lester the Pimp, and then Randy says yes, he was in Running. The other guy was in Running Scared, and I was like, oh wait, no, it was the other. Yeah,
This
Two
had a,
different Running
Again,
Scared.
Uncle Rico must have been 19 years old in Running Scared.
I mean,
Must
he's
feel like
he's weird in that he doesn't seem to age very much. What's the show where they're all on an island and everyone's screwing each other over and the lady
Not Lost?
No, it's newer. It's newer. It's on HBO. It's
White
cute.
Lotus.
White Lotus. That's it.
White Lotus. Yeah.
He was on there. He was the husband that Jennifer, what's her name, was married to. I'm gonna take that dog, dumbass. What's her name?
Yes, right, Jennifer
Coolidge.
Coolidge.
Yeah. That he was the husband in that, and he was great in that. You know what, John Grise, do no wrong for me. I love the story about Napoleon Dynamite though, where you know how they're always eating steak and milk in that movie.
Yeah.
He did that a couple of times, but he's like hardcore vegetarian, like hardcore. So he was actually putting that steak in his mouth, but then he would chew it, and according to the behind the scenes stuff, he would just immediately just spit it all out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because he just did not want any beef in his system. He's like hardcore about the beef.
No beef.
No beef.
I always think he's the janitor in the Breakfast Club, but he's not. It's a totally different guy.
Similar vibe, though.
Similar vibe, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Grease would have been closer to our age then. I'm not sure how old he
Yeah.
is.
Well, it was the same year as Real Genius, so and he already had like a crazy
Real
full
Genius.
beard. Chris Laszlo, he had a crazy.
Oh,
full beard
that's
at one
true.
point.
Let's see. He was born in 57. He's older than I thought.
Yeah,
That
10,
makes-
12 years older than us. Wow.
He's great though.
Wow.
Wow. Weird Welsh stuff.
Let's see. His known for his art: Napoleon Dynamite, Get Shorty, Men in Black, and Real Genius. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
He'd be a great little mob boss type dude. They should get on that. He also looks, you know what he looks like? He looks like a skinnier vegetarian version of who made King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead and
Judge. Mike Judge.
Mike Judge. He looks like him. Anyway, he'll do the movie or something. Anyway, let's get to these. My final one was Blame It on the French for my Filmsack checklist there. Let's get to the Star Trek connections. There's got to be a Star Trek thing here.
I got two. And it's two good ones. Yeah. I love these connections. So first is Leland Orser. He's Sam Gilroy, the trope of the tech helper in this movie, right?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Sure.
He was in 3 different Star Trek series as different characters. In Deep Space Nine, he was in 2 episodes called Sanctuary and the Die Is Cast. In Voyager, he was in an episode called Revulsion. And in Star Trek Enterprise, he was in an episode called Carpenter Street.
Oh.
But we also have Famke Janssen in this movie. Mm-hmm. Famke Janssen played Lenny. I love that they had the little running gag.
Yeah. Lenore.
Calling her Lenore. Famously, Famke Janssen's very first role in anything in her career was the Star Trek Next Generation episode The Perfect Mate.
Really?
And not only was it her very first thing ever, she was born in 1964. She was 28 years old when she got this break.
Damn, dude.
That is a lot later than most actors get their first.
She left an impression. I didn't know that was her first thing, but she really left an impression on that episode.
Talking about something shooting out of the gate. Basically,
you know what I loved about that one is because her pheromones were affecting everybody on the ship,
right?
And I love when Worf was getting affected because all he'd do is look at her and go. Yes. I used to think that was so funny.
By the way, her name in that the character's name of the Perfect Mate, her name was Kamala.
Oh, that's adorable.
Oh, really?
The perfect running mate. No, anyway. Nicely done. Let's move on now to the soundtrack grade. I give it a P for perfect for this sort of thing. It fit real well, I thought. Good sound design overall, but it was fine. It's good music.
I liked that it was somewhat vanishing. And that's usually not a compliment. I usually want things to be like really awesome and in your face musically, but this wasn't, and it was right for it because this movie it's very simple and straightforward. And if it had like a bombastic score, it would have been strange.
Yeah, like this bit here.
I don't know who you are.
He starts quiet, and then you get these.
I don't know what you want.
You get this quiet and discordant stuff in the back, and then it comes forward as like a bit of a. I guess it has more cordants, less discordant, more cordants.
It gains some cordant.
Yeah. How many cordants do you need?
Yeah, there's only 5 on the whole scale. How many cordances do you speak?
Very, very successful composer from Paris named Nathaniel Machali, and he has been like working consistently in TV and films for a long time. He's known for this understated, especially a lot of like chamber music sounding scoring.
It's very good. I like it a lot. All right, let's move on to the social media post. All right, look, you've only got 280 characters to do this in, 280 characters or less. All right, you can go under, you just can't go over. And we're going to start this week with Randy Jordan.
Taken. Beard, 6 feet. Tattoo right hand, moon and star. I see you for the Euro scum you are. You think I won't just because I'm older? I'll shoot an innocent mom in the shoulder. I'll kill a butler so I can use his tray. I'll end everyone at the French buffet. You think you can escape my wrath here, son? I'll take 1,000 lives to save just one.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
An unusually serious poem.
Very actor studio reading there. I like that. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the far less serious Brian Dunaway.
Oh, take it. Little rich girl listens to her daddy, and they all live happily ever after. Hashtag PG-13. Hashtag totally not human trafficking.
That's a big hashtag. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Nicely done. And then finally, Brian Ibbett, please.
Taken. Human trafficking construction company. How can I drug you?
That, you know what? That was another very discordant thing. The auction's being run by a woman, and that woman is being very. I hated the hoity-toity professionalism of trading those women. It really worked for me. That's a great choice.
I think if you have a daughter, it hits you. It's got to hit harder than the 3 of us with sons.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It is definitely adds something to it. But then having a woman say, all right, we'll start the bidding at whatever. And I'm like, dude, this is dark shit.
Right.
I'd go. See, here's the problem. I'd be like Liam Neeson, but I would have died in that taxi after that little scuffle. That'd have been the end of it.
Yeah.
The first fight. Yeah.
Yeah, because he gets hit pretty hard on the cement. I think he smacked his head on the cement.
Oh yeah,
When he got
right.
yanked
Pulled out
out
by the big guy. Yeah.
And that would have been it. Scott's in the Perry Hospital, died 2 hours later. Well, he tried. He went out there and tried. Did the best he could.
Yeah. No, if it were me, that poor pop singer would have gotten stabbed. That's where it ended for me. Well, I'm not getting paid for this job, am I? No? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Good point. You would have been in the tabloids having not saved Beyonce level, whoever she
would
was.
have been my with great power comes great responsibility moment, basically.
Yep. That's perfect. All right. Let's move on to the alternate titles. These were just handed to me, and I can't find my place. What happened here? Okay, there it is. Nope, that's not it. What the hell? Oh, here we go. I don't know how I did that. It was almost called Tooken. They just didn't think that was grammatically correct.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or a really long one, and I'm glad they shortened it, but it was almost called Oscar Schindler Goes After the Guys That Took the Girl from Lost with the Help of the Guy That Wore the Razor Phallus in Seven. You know? It's just too much.
That scene. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was so like,
yeah.
Never forget.
Not the one where he pees his pants, though. I can't remember what movie it was where we just watched him slowly pee his pants.
I think that was Alien 4 Resurrection.
Oh, Alien 4. That is right. Yes.
Yeah, but it's essentially, it's almost like they transplanted that same character, it feels like. It's like, we need a guy who can shake like crazy. I know. Orser. Call him. Get him on the line.
Right.
All right. Let's move on. Oh, speaking of which, sorry, you said, or no, you didn't say Terminator. It made me think of Terminator. That new Terminator anime hitting Netflix this week. I am so excited for this. I think that'll be my recommendal, but I am so jazzed. I'm hearing nothing but good things, like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm so excited. All right. Where the hell am I now? We've done that. We can now move on to emails. Here's an email from Chris. Chris says, "Hi, Scott, Brian, and Randy. Just in case the YouTube comment got missed, when Brian Dunaway said at about 18 minutes, quote, I don't think I've ever watched a zombie movie, and that was great." And I don't know why he may have misheard you, but then he says, does that Peter Jackson movie from 1992, Dead Alive, Brain Dead, count as a zombie movie? I checked where it was streaming, and it's on YouTube in 1080. Would love to know what Brian D. and you all think of it. Kind regards. So wait a minute. The quote is, I don't think you've ever watched a zombie movie. Straight up isn't true, because we've done stuff here, like Night of the Living Dead and other things. So did you remember saying that?
Maybe I got cut off. I don't know. I was having a lot of tech issues that week, I believe, and that is totally possible.
We missed the word never. I've never not seen a zombie movie.
Right.
Basically.
Because
I'll go back and take a look, though. He gave us a timestamp, so that's perfect. So I should be able to go back.
Yeah, go check that out.
I'll find out.
Actually, I'm not entirely sure what episode he's referring to, though. Let's see.
It was probably Army of the... Oh, no.
Army of... Yeah. No,
Army of Thieves?
Oh, Army of Thieves, maybe. Yeah.
Army of Thieves.
Yeah. Even though technically that's not a zombie movie, there are zombie elements.
Right.
Right. We talked about zombies a bit.
We talked about zombies because of Army of the Dead.
That seems likely. Yeah. So jump ahead 18 minutes on that YouTube and see what you think there. There's a comment on there too. I guess.
Check it out. What was the recommendation though? What was that?
Dead Alive / Brain Dead. I think they called it something different in the States, but that's the Peter Jackson thing from way back when he was just getting started.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be great. I've seen a scene where someone picks up a lawnmower and straight up like lawn mows somebody's face. Something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly.
We called it Did we call it Brain Dead? Is that what we called it?
I think here we called it Brain Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Speaking of
I remember
Peter
this.
Jackson.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at this cover.
That mouth. Remember that VHS tape?
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of Peter Jackson.
Speaking of Peter Jackson, coming out of Taken, Max asked me, would you like to next sack The Lovely Bones? And I'm like, I might want to. I didn't know it was on Max.
I've never seen it. Would love to see it.
Yeah, we may have The Lovely Bones on our schedule very soon.
That'd be great.
That's is that by that same writer who did all the Spider's Web and not the Swedish guy, but the Peter Patterson. Jeez Louise, it took me a while to get there.
James Patterson?
Lovely Bones, is that a James Patterson, or am I confusing that with something that's similar to The Sound of Lovely?
Yeah, it's an Alice Sebold book.
Okay.
Alice Sebold, you know that
Okay.
author?
I don't, but that's probably why I know it is from a stack of books on Tina's nightstand.
This was that.
She had the Lovely Bones probably right under one of the Alex Cross, James Patterson books.
Is this the one with the Rachel Weisz, Mark Wahlberg, Saoirse Ronan? Okay. I don't think I've seen it. I would. Ooh, Michael Imperioli. Saoirse. Sorry, I'll get in trouble again. Susan Sarandon. That's a good cast. Jeez.
And it's Peter Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Let's get it in there. I always meant to, just never did. Yeah. The same or next year, depending on when you think Taken came out. All right, let's get to this phone call. I'm going to just let it play, but it's about forcing me to do something I don't want to do. So here we go.
Hi, Scott, Brian, and Randy. So I was just wondering, what level of Patreon would you guys need in order to get Scott to watch the movie Fall from 2022 in a VR headset? And that needs to be filmed, by the way, if you do it, because that's going to be really, really great. I just really think that would be awesome. That's just my opinion. Anyway, this is from Missouri. Thanks, guys. Keep up the great work.
I am a little obsessed with this movie. I absolutely would love to sack it. It is not available on streaming. It's been for sale. This is the one
where the two women climb to the top of one of those towers.
An aerial tower. And then get stuck there. Yeah.
It's open water up on an aerial tower, basically.
Yes. And
like that Frozen movie where not Frozen the animated, but where they're stuck on a chairlift. It's kind of like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Right. In that genre of like 127 hours.
Right. Yeah. The horror is you are in one single place where you can't move for the horror, and the horror happens around you.
Does someone pee off the edge? That's what I need to know.
Well, it's two girls, so yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah, you know what? Never even passed my radar. I'd watch this. This looks great. I like stuff like this.
Would you watch it on VR though?
Oh shit. He knows I hate heights. See, this is a listener trying to screw me up. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he did offer money though.
I do hate heights.
So,
Oof.
It is definitely in our distant future. At some point, the movie Fall will be streaming, and we'll definitely sack
I'll tell you what. If he goes in there, because you can over donate on a Patreon. If he goes in there and drops $500, we will all we'll all split it, and then I'll do it. I'll do his little thing. I have a Quest 2. I could totally watch this in VR. Totally, I'll do it.
So you wouldn't do it for $50?
I would do it for. Well, I do it for 100 each, so $400.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
we all got to get paid.
And it's not like you watch VR. You're still watching a movie screen in VR. There's not like a 3D perspective version of the movie Fall.
Right. It's just a big vision.
Just watching it on
it's like a big vision filling sort of screen type thing.
Right.
Which wouldn't be that bad. I mean, it'd be bad. It'd be bad. I don't like heights at all. But
the thing that would irritate me is my inability to take notes, because I don't have color pass through on my Quest 2. It's something that was added on the Quest 3.
Yeah. I just want to say, Scott, I've been podcasting with you for over 18 years. I've never once heard you start a negotiation in the middle of recording a podcast. It is fascinating.
Well, he asked, he's like, what level of Patreon? Well, now you know, buddy. All right, one final thing. This is a quick text here. This is from Paul Sevilla, I think is how you say it. Sous vide? Oh. Yep, he's been soaking in hot meat water for the last 10 hours. He says this came to 801-471-0462, as did our last voicemail. He says, hey, Filmsack, another important question for you guys. Which universe would fare better against a xenomorph infestation? Star Trek or Star Wars? Thank you, Paul.
Star Trek.
Better.
Science the shit out of that.
Well, and it's not even close. Star Trek is so much more powerful than Star Wars. Like, they have transporters.
And they're organized. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They're organized, and they would be focused on the problem. Even for a hot minute, the Romulans would pause their war and go, okay, sure, we'll work with you on this one because this is too much. Like they do with the Borg. It's the same thing.
But lightsabers slicing out some aliens would be infinitely more fun.
Be great to see. But before any of that happened, the Tatooine completely overrun by xenomorphs.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Well, how do you think Chewbacca and the planet of Chewbacca's would handle?
I think we'd end up with a really cool new hybrid Wookiee hairy xenomorph.
You know
Star
what?
Trek.
Dead
Star
on.
Trek has two pieces of magic that are just unbelievably overpowered. One is the ability to scan for life signs. That
Right.
magic is like you could scan for life signs, like, oh well, there's where all the alien xenomorphs are.
Yeah.
You just transport. Now you have transport magic, and we're just going to transport a photon torpedo right into the middle of that nest.
I mean,
and
they
that's it.
they essentially
Yeah, but
they essentially did this with the Borg. The Borg are that.
Yeah, the
It's
Borg.
this
The only
non-stopping,
problem-
non-feeling. Nothing matters to them. Evil entity. It's the same thing.
Right.
So
Right.
they
But,
handled
but
it.
the problem, of course,
Your
is going to
Star
be
Trek-
for. Go ahead.
Your Star Trek comparison of being able to scan from a distance for life forms versus Star Wars. Hey, is that a moon? Oh crap! No, it's a
Yeah,
space station. We're getting pulled in by their.
No, that's a good point. But think of this: you would have way less of the acid blood problem in Star Wars because you'd cauterize every one of those damn
Oh,
bitches.
sure. Every time you slice
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
But that requires nothing but Jedis fighting, and I don't think you got enough. So there's a lot of issues on the Star Wars side.
The one thing
Yeah.
Star Wars has that Star Trek doesn't is the ability to blow up a planet.
Mm.
Like that's pretty strong against aliens.
That's
You know?
true. If that planet is
426 versus the Death Star problem solved.
yeah, if you had a planet
Looking
full
from
of them,
space, to be sure.
Dunaway, you were
How would-
trying to say something. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. How would Babylon 5 fare against aliens?
Oh, not good.
That's fun.
They're not unified. See, I still say the biggest strength in the Star Trek thing is you have unification, and you just don't have that in any of these other universes. Everyone's at each other's throats. There's political separation hardcore on Babylon 5. BSG, they'd be on the run. Well, they're already on the run, but it would be worse. Oh my gosh, BSG
Right.
would be screwed.
It's so much more fractured. Yeah, the Federation. There is fracturing in Star Trek as well, but there's a lot more organization than fracturing.
Yeah,
like Star
yeah.
Wars. is
They would
almost all
come. They
fractured.
would come together, and I don't think Randy's right. Like the ability to blow up a planet would work if you've contained the infestation to a planet. Then Star Wars has the advantage, or I guess the Death Star has the advantage. But then those two are blown up. We don't have a Death Star right now, so I don't know. It depends on what era you're talking about. All I know is Romulus is awesome, and everyone should go see
How
it.
about the Expanse?
How would the Expanse do? You
You
think
know
they
what?
would do okay?
I think they do okay in the Expanse. I mean, didn't they literally do this in the Expanse? Kind of, right? The meta or the little nanobot sentient alien things were basically
Oh, yeah.
zombies, really, kind of. Yeah, so they didn't do so well. I love it though. Okay,
do so
what
well.
about Enemy Mine? How would they do?
What do you think they would do in Still Magnolia Land? Do you
Yeah,
think
what
they
would
About
they do?
the Orville verse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Orville verse. They don't-
Imagine if Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar had gone through the wormhole and found aliens. Well,
Please tell me they don't call it the Orville verse. Please tell me that's not a thing.
They don't. I just made that up.
Thank the
It's
Lord
first
on
time I've
high.
ever heard
They
that.
do now.
Because all it is the Orville.
Yeah, I hate that so much. All right, excellent work.
By the way, back to the earlier question from the Jamf, I looked up on YouTube, and the question was, I don't think I've ever watched a zombie movie and said that was great. That was the missing piece that I said. Yeah,
Because you said
And
you've
so-
never seen a zombie movie where you went, that is a great film. That's what you
that
were
was
saying.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That explains the
But
confusion.
I've always said they're fun.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. They're always fun. I mean, I don't know that
Yeah.
there's one that's great. I love the Days and Weeks Later movies. Those are amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I kind of do think they're great though. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know, but I still think you make a good point. For the most part, zombie movies aren't great. I've read better
Well,
zombie
you know.
books than I have seen zombie movies. How about that? Yeah, reading a book right now called Calamity. Highly recommend it so far. It's very good.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, quite good.
I'm reading a book called Clamato.
Oh, well, that's a horror of a
Reading
different
a book called
type.
Calamari.
Oh, even worse. Those two things together? No, actually, it wouldn't be bad. Clamato and calamari? I could be convinced. Doesn't sound too bad. All right. Let's get to our quick Patreon note here. Patreon.com/filmsack. Look, you guys are great. We love you at home. And the reason we love you is because you belly up and you help us out. Even if this $500 guy doesn't do anything, it's fine because you guys are amazing.
$500 guy.
If you guys want, I'd have to do something special for him besides just the movie. But no commercials. That sounds good. How about pre-show content every week? How about that? How about monthly special host episodes like the one Ibbot just put up, which was fantastic. Nice job.
thanks.
Yeah, that was great. And I also liked how you thought of the
Put
spoiler
spoilery
thing.
at the end. Yeah.
It's important stuff. And we nailed that. So good job, everybody. There were people still worried, and I'm like, he's not going to do that to you.
Come on, I'm a professional. You all have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it all worked out good. Also, we get movie-related art prints in the mail to some of you. Other monthly benefits that you'll learn about if you just go to patreon.com/filmsack today. Our next movie will be... I don't know. What is it? I have no idea.
Randy?
We're going to watch a movie that came up kind of randomly a long time ago, and Brian Ibbett was just like, we have to watch this. It's called Omega Doom.
Oh, yeah.
It's on,
really?
it's on
This is my
Amazon
fault?
Prime. Yeah.
You son of a...
fault. I can't believe you did this to us, Brian. I can't believe it.
I know, well, wait till we see it. Really, I just had a song that I wanted to use, and this was the only movie title that would fit with it.
Yeah.
It's streaming on Amazon Prime for us. 1996 movie, directed by a guy named Albert Pune. I can't tell you anything about that person, but I do know that Scott Johnson once said he would watch anything set in a post-apocalyptic world.
Truth.
And that is true of Omega Doom. So
I'm
Let's
all in.
find out what Rutger Hauer has to say.
Yeah, what does Rutger Hauer have to say after all his trouble in life? I don't know what that means. He's great.
like
I wonder how Xenomorphs would do in the Omega Doom universe.
You wouldn't believe the things I've seen.
Listen, Pune did their Captain America movie, so I have faith. Oh no, sorry, it's the one from the '89. With
yeah, it was the bad one.
Oh boy, that was bad.
I got something for the Ibbett, right? They're going to paste that in the Discord server. Just a recommendation on how you might want to.
Oh, look at that! Wow,
What
it's
is
a
it?
walk out of this film triple feature.
Wait a minute, let me see. Oh my gosh.
It's a triple feature Blu-ray featuring Johnny Mnemonic, Universal Soldier, and The Return. So not even the original
The Return,
Universal
not even
Soldier.
the good one.
Yeah.
The Return.
And Omega Doom, where it's just,
What do you think they sell
Rutger
this thing
Hauer
for?
wearing a Jack Nicholson One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest hat.
Yeah.
Wild,
I think
dude.
it goes for about a nickel. What do you think? What is it?
I don't know,
the
man.
price this thing goes for?
That
Free
is
with any
crazy.
purchase.
Yeah. This does feel like a thing you'd fish out of a Walmart bucket, though, or a Walmart
Oh,
bin.
it totally does, yeah.
Well, looking forward to that.
Name 3 movies Brian never wants to see again.
If you've ever heard of Omega Doom and you have something to say about it, look for a thread by me in our Discord later this week where we can start talking about that movie.
Absolutely. We should mention that. We put up a thing right away, or pretty close to right away after we do a new episode for the next week's, and it's its own like forum thread in our Discord that you can go and have just vast discussions. Just go wild with it. What do you think of the movie? Spoil the hell out of it. We don't care. It's a place where you can go do that, and we do it every week. So watch for those if you haven't already joined us on our Discord at frogpants.com/Discord. I'm getting it all right. That's what's happening.
Yeah,
You got it. You nailed it.
Nailed it.
Also, old professional here. Everybody getting it done. Filmsack.com is our website. And once again, if you want to contact us, filmsack@gmail.com is an email address you can use, or you can text us or voicemail us at 801-471-0462. And that's going to do it for us. For me, for Brian, and for Randy.
It was all personal to me.
We'll see you next time.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
I don't know who you are.
Oh, well, get to know me better then.